And here we are with the SPX ticker symbol, which is the S&P 500 index. And I am here to share with you guys some information. And I'm zooming out so you guys can see it, how obviously the S&P 500 has done nothing but rise over time. And this is due to Federal Reserve pumping, obviously, the stocks and the market as a whole. And this has just been in an upward trend. We're about to reach, right? If we look at it, our all-time highs here of 3,400. We're at 3351 and it was at 3,400 before the crash. We're not that far from it. Now I want to zoom in and show you guys some information that started here on the whole series that I started, right? Which was July 13th. July 13th, there was some bad news in regards to companies' earnings and I think corona cases and so forth. And I think different states and policies and things were going on that affected the market as a whole. And you could see it reflect here on the S&P 500. Now, another thing too, on that date, there was supposed to be a release of the next pumps that were supposed to come. And that date, the pumps were not announced till after hours. So I'm not sure if that also had something to do with this. Now the pump happened the next day, and you can see what happened. This leveled off, and the market continued to flow. So what I want you guys to know is the date of the pumps are there to either level off the market from falling harder, or it's there to continue to rise in an upward direction, to continue the bullish run. And that's all it's done, and that's its purpose. So in this situation, it leveled it back off, some sell-off, people taking profits, or fear, or earnings reports, whatever it was. And then again, the run continued. And it continued till here. And the next day of the pumps was the 21st. And the 21st started right here on the 20th at the end. And then the 21st, it jumped from 3250 all the way up to 3278. So when you look at that, that's a $20 jump. And if you're using the SPY as a reference as well, that right there is about, I'd say a couple dollar difference. But whoever bought down here all the way up to here, that's like a $10-15 difference. And believe it or not, and every dollar in difference as a gain is good, as long as it's a gain. And that's what the S&P 500 has been doing. I specifically use the S&P 500 because it's the Fortune 500 companies of America. Blue chip stocks are in this category. They're the stocks that people know and companies they know for years. And yeah, the NASDAQ is having a run, and the stock market's having a run on the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. But I like this one because there's much more reasonable companies and stable companies to look at that have been known for many years, and companies people feel more comfortable investing in, and not much of a risk, which is not true. Everything in the market is a risk, but in terms of fluctuality and stuff, these don't fluctuate as much. They tend to, stay in their area, bump up a couple cents, bump down a couple cents, but they tend to stay within the same dollar range. Anything that, it could bump up from 620 to 670 and then fall back down to 610 and then go back up to 630. But, it stays above that $6 mark for the most part, and it just stays around the same area. So I'm here to show you guys the next date of the pump. And also the news behind the next day of the pump. So the next day of the pump is on the 11th, and that is the last pump of this term. It started here on the 14th. It had this run. The next one was on the 21st. Market leveled off, earnings, fear, profits, whatever it was within all those companies in the S&P 500 as a whole. That happened. And then the next pump was on the 28th. 28th, it had a low, and then it went all the way up to here. And then on the 29th, there was sell-off, and then it brought itself back up, sell-off again, brought itself back up. And then before the next pump and this sell-off happened, there was encouragement, I guess, from a lot of investors, the next day, which was August 3rd. From the 31st, which was a Friday, the 3rd was a Monday, and then the 4th, it dipped a little bit and it grew back up, and then it just leveled off, and it slightly was building the anticipation for what happened on the 5th. And on the 5th, it skyrocketed to newer highs and it leveled off again. Here we are, obviously, to the point where it rose a little bit, it fell, it's rising back up, and Monday is leaving us uncertain because that's the 10th. Now, if this was to dip a little bit, 11th pump, what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and level off the stock. So if this was to fall, it'll just level off on the 11th. It fell on the 10th, it dipped, and then it levels off on the 11th. Or not even all the way. It might just dip, and it might just fall right there, and that's how much it's going to miss, right, from the total amount. It will stay somewhere like in the middle of all that. And then the date of the pump, it'll either continue to rise or it'll just level off, hang around, and kind of bring itself back up to the point where it just leveled off where it was before. Because that's what these pumps are tend to do and what they're made to do. Now, if the momentum is continuing with investors and investors are attracted in the market right now, these pumps just continue to flourish these bullish runs, as you can see. But I'm going to pop up here the dates, and I would love for you guys to check them out. The 14th, the 21st, the 28th, the 4th, and the 11th. The 11th is the next pump. And the next release date is the 13th. So yes, there's going to be a pump on the 11th. See how it reacts on Monday. And on the 11th, I'm not saying that when the pump comes, you make riches and a lot of money grows, because that's not true. On the SPY, it might go up between $1 to $5. On the index, it might go up between $10 to $50. And on stocks that are blue chip stocks, S&P 500 stocks, American companies as well that aren't in the S&P, but they're just American, and you believe and feel confident that they participate in this, right? In these repurchase agreement operations, because it's mainly American companies that are benefiting from this, they'll go up between 30 cents to $5 per share. So it's not like it's a crazy number, but it's something that you guys can maximize and take advantage of. Now, the next schedule release is on the 13th. So if they release that it's any day next week, the 14th, if investors aren't feeling really attracted and they feel like clocking out, taking their profits, or the market is starting to, fall a little bit between the 12th, 13th, and the 14th, all of this pump hard work, right, of bringing itself all the way up here might actually end up somewhere down here until the next pump date that is scheduled, and then it'll start to rise again. But that is something to pay close attention to, because like I said, Monday can come down and then this levels off with the pump, or Monday can come and it levels off and it's going a little bit more up, and then if you continue it and then the pump comes, it will continue in that upward direction. But then after the pump, there will be some sell off, slowly start to fall, and then it kind of levels off back over here. So yeah, it rose and then it's gonna fall a little bit. Now, until the next pump happens, we won't really know what's gonna be the next route. But if pumps are scheduled and the next release date is, let's just say hypothetically speaking, any of these dates at the beginning of the week between Monday and Wednesday, and then they show how the pumps are gonna be, and the pumps are structured the same, because you got to keep in mind these pumps are structured with a plus 10 basis points. IOER plus 10 basis points. What that means is, hypothetically speaking, in terms of how this works, is a company gets, 100 million and they have to pay back in interest 1 million, which is literally 1% of what they just got as a loan. And it could even be less. But that's just to give you guys an idea. They're almost switching. I'll give you 1 million in interest, and you give me 100 million. So it's making these companies um, be able to take these overnight loans, and it goes into their stock market prices and market capitalization and so forth. So it really has an impact, and it raises stocks prices up usually, the ones that take it between 30 cents to $5, and the SPY rises with it because it correlates with what's going on with the S&P 500, which is the overall of all of them. So yeah, then this could probably recover again and work its way up, and probably even to newer highs, because we're really close to the previous highs of 3,400. And if this was to kind of rise and slowly dip because of the uncertainty, it won't dip too far down to the point where it stops it from reaching the newer highs. Because if it was to dip down this way, then it's going to take a lot more effort for those pumps to bring it back up. But I believe it's going to be something closer, and something that will be able to then let itself continue the bullish rally, because that's what this is really doing. If you look, right, what the rally has done is just continue an upward trend. And if we go all the way over here just to when last month started, that's what the next pump is going to do, just continue this upward trend. So very interesting enough that, you know, the last one's coming. We're going to have to look and wait and see and be patient on what's going to happen between the 11th, the 13th, and then the next scheduled date. If it's the 17th, 18th, or 19th, that'll be on the next video. So if it's your first time viewing, welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. If you guys have any questions or anything, just comment down below, hit the like button. And for all my subscribers that have been following this with me in the last month, we're going to have to see how this plays out Monday and how the pump reacts on Tuesday. Because anything after Tuesday, right, because that's the last date of the pump and there is no more pumps. The next release is on the 13th. Anything after Tuesday, there's a lot of uncertainty unless you can see how attracted and encouraged and motivated investors are throughout the market. If there's not really any red days and everything continues to flow in a green direction, then maybe investors aren't too worried about waiting till the next scheduled date. But if you start seeing red days, I'd hold off and do my due diligence and pay closer attention to what's going on, and you know do some research before I jump in and so forth. For all the new viewers as well, I encourage you guys to go back to my older videos, see everything from the 13th till now, because you'll see how I was doing a video every time, every week that they released this, and you could see how I talk about this upward direction, but not just from this point forward. I'm just focusing on that right now, but from all the way down here, all the way down here to where we're at now. And these pumps, if they continue, we're going to continue to see an upward trend. Yes, there's ups, downs, ups, and so forth. But the main point behind all of this is that it started here and now we're here. And that's all due to these pumps. And the pumps either recover the market as a whole and rebalance it, as we can see here. It fell and recovered and it balanced right back out. Or it does what this one did and it brings it from here up to here to newer highs, levels it off. And even though it dips, yeah, it dips a little bit below where it recovered, but then the next one builds the anticipation to let it rise again, fell, and then here we are on its way to newer highs. So, point of the matter is, if the next scheduled dates are structured the same, I took a look at the SPY significantly, because whoever bought the SPY here at 31.30 and is holding it or even probably planning on selling it at 33.50, that's almost a $15 to $25 jump um, in regards to each share of the SPY. So that is very significant. Um, and when you look at it, you know, it's guaranteed to continue that trend, because if it's happening this way and this is structured the same, we need to see after the 13th, which I'm going to do a video. So I encourage you guys that are not subscribed to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so that you guys don't miss out on these videos. And we'll see what the 13th brings us. And if it's structured the same, there could be an upward direction from this point, or let's not say this point. Let's say from wherever the, you know, index ends up and the SPY and the market as a whole ends up after, and then the first date of the pump starts, we can then go ahead and kind of see where it will be, whether it'll be up here, whether it'll be back down here. But you can still draw this same diagram of, okay, this is the point where it started, and this is the possibility of where we're going, because that's all it has shown throughout the whole process of the pumps. Now, these dips, negative earnings, news, reports, and stuff, or even just investors not being encouraged or taking profits, because there could be people that, even though that information's there and it's transparent, they feel uncertain of what's to come up here in the next days. So if they already saw it go from here or from here to here, there's a sell-off, people taking profits. So that's another thing to keep in mind and think about how investors think and what they're doing, because you're an investor as well, but you're not the only investor. There's thousands of others and millions of others, including, you know, the hedge funds and all that stuff playing games in this same market. And when I say playing games, I'm talking about, they're moving money here to there, from this to that. But the one thing that we do know right now is that the Federal Reserve is going ahead and backing up these companies and letting the whole entire index and the market as a whole continue to flourish. And they want to see it back at the previous highs, and they also want it to go um, much more higher than it ever was. So that is even a possibility, which is kind of crazy to say, but this might even hit newer highs if these pumps are scheduled and released quickly, and investors stay encouraged after the 13th and they know, and that it's structured the same, because if it's not plus 10 and it's actually plus 5 or plus 0, that could have a significant effect. Or I think if it's a higher number, it could have a significant effect as well. So those are all the things to be mindful of, and as long as it's structured the same, then this same effect could happen. To put it into simpler terms, this same effect could happen as long as it's structured the same or better, right? But one thing right now is we're gonna have to see how this plays out on Monday, see how it ends on Monday, and depending on how it ends, the 11th should be a day where there's some money to be made. Do your due diligence, do your research, and if you haven't been aware of this before, just sit on the sidelines, check it out for yourself. I'd tell you to look at the S&P 500 index, see how it reacts. Look at the SPY, how it reacts, and then take a look at a Fortune 500 company or a company in the SPY that you're watching or you would like to look at, and just see how it reacts. And you will see that it's not that they always go up or whatever, but there's always an increase of some sort due to these pumps because they're benefiting from these pumps from the Federal Reserve. I'm not here to tell you guys to buy. I'm not here to tell you guys to sell. I'm not even here to tell you guys that you're going to make money. I'm not. That's not what these videos are for. And I'm not guaranteeing you that the date of the pump you're going to make money. What I am here to guarantee you is that if you do your research and you do your due diligence and you play it safely and you watch carefully what it is that you're making decisions on, there could be a possibility that you could have gone in here and get out here, or just, you know, there could be a possibility that you'll find something that will work for you. But mainly, I'm here to enlighten you guys, encourage you guys to do more research after what I'm showing you. And I'm just here to show you guys the correlation to what the scheduled dates are showing us, when the next one is, how there's going to be uncertainty until the 13th, and then until from the 13th to the next first date of the pump, which would be anywhere in this week, to play it very safe, watch very closely the market. I'm here to help you guys and inform you guys about this information. For those of you that don't know about it or weren't aware about it, now you know. And go back to those dates, look at how the market reacted, how different stocks reacted, and then you guys as investors are now well equipped and ready to do your own rational decisions. That's what I'm really mainly here for. I don't want you guys to miss out on these opportunities. And something I'd really encourage you to do is check out the SPY if you don't feel comfortable going into a specific stock, because anybody that has bought the SPY since these pumps started, way down here at 22, has now made about $130 per SPY piece, right? Per share of the SPY. So it just goes to show that it's been in this direction. The market, yes, a lot of analysts are saying that it may crash, that it's coming. I'm not going to go against experts and I'm not going to go against analysts because they're probably projecting it due to the fact that these pumps are happening. But right now, what I do know is these pumps have been announced, and every time they get announced, as investors, we should take advantage, just like the companies are taking advantage of this and making their stock prices go up. As investors, we should focus on getting an entry point or the SPY or something that is being benefited from these Federal Reserve opportunities to the market and go ahead and make ourselves some money as well. As investors, we deserve that right. And something that I want to tell you guys that yes, the date of the pump doesn't guarantee every stock's going to go up. Doesn't guarantee that every American or S&P 500 is going to go up. Doesn't guarantee that the SPY is going to just go up. But there's a correlating pattern. And that's why I would tell you guys to watch the day before, the day after, and the date of the pump. And even 2 days after the pump. And see how these stocks, the index and the SPY reacts if you haven't tried it yet or you're not familiar with it, so that you can get a feel of how it acts sometimes or how it acts out of that time, and then you go ahead and make your own decision when that time comes. So I would tell you to sit on the sidelines and just watch it this next week. See, for those of you that are invested in this and have already tried this and you've been following this for the last couple of weeks, I would like for you guys to comment down below and tell other investors your experience. Even tell me your experience, because I know some of you have been watching this. And if you invested, I would like for you guys to tell us your experience and how it's been going for you, or how did it work out. If you haven't invested and you've been watching, but you see what I've stated between the 13th to the 14th, from the 20th to the 21st, the 28th, the 4th, right? And the date after, and this and that, and the anticipation of how it's been happening and how it reacted. All that stuff. I would like for you guys to comment down below so that viewers and first-time viewers can see that for those of you that have been following it, maybe you guys can even share more information for other people on some little things that you've noticed. But for the most part, the point of these pumps, you could see that it was here at the lowest point before the pump started for this last session, and now it's here. So there is something there that's making it go up, and I'm not saying that because it went up you're always going to get gains, but the gains are in there. They're in the end. It's in the S&P 500. It's in these American companies, but it's all about doing your research and due diligence. So there's so many to choose from that I wouldn't be able to do in a video and say this one and this one or so forth. My best advice is check out the SPY and make a decision from there. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something new. I hope you guys find this information informative, helpful, and worthwhile. And thank you guys so much for watching. And let's make some money. Let's make some money, and let's use this information to our advantage. And I hope that for all of you first-time viewers and even viewers that have been watching but haven't subscribed, I encourage you guys to go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell so you can get notified on these videos that I post weekly so you don't miss one. And you can be up to date on the date of the pumps, the scheduled times, and also right now that we are left on uncertainty, you're really going to want to watch my next video, because after this scheduled date of release, I will be posting a video preparing you guys for the next pumps. So thank you guys, and I encourage you guys to definitely take advantage and use me as a research tool and as a resource. I don't mind being one of your resources, and that's what I'm here for. But even though I'm here to inform you guys and I try to make the information as available, transparent, and clear as possible, don't just go off of what I'm showing you. Go into the charts, do your research, do your due diligence, check it out for yourself, And if you're not ready to make a move, because I do want you guys to benefit from this and not miss out on these opportunities right now that are presented to us, at least check it out, sit on the sidelines and see how it reacts. And then you guys can make your own rational decisions from there. So thank you once again. I think I've said thank you 3 times, but I really want to say thank you to all of you, my viewers, my subscribers, and I really, really, really want this information to be spread amongst many investors so they don't miss out on this. So please share this. Share this with all your friends, all your communities, group chats, um, other communities of where you have friends and you're in groups. Share the link, share them this, and I'm sure that anybody that watches this video is going to be thankful because there's people missing out on this information, and this information is definitely helpful. It's helped me since the moment I found it in investing. And something I will tell you guys is I like to focus on making $1 into $2 rather than making $1 into $10 because when I focus on making one of my dollars into $10, which is 10 times how much I put in, it's a lot harder. And sometimes since you're waiting and you're so caught up in the anticipation of seeing it multiply that much, that sometimes it doesn't even go that way, or you're already profiting. And oh man, I would love anybody to comment down below this experience that they've had because I'm here sharing it with you guys. And I just want to hear from everybody because I know I'm not the only one this has happened to. I'm profiting, right? It turned from $1 to $5. And I say, oh, I'm holding, I'm only making $4. I want to, I'm still working on holding to get to $10. And, the next day it falls to $2. So now I'm losing $2 of my gains. And then I'm holding. It's going to come back up. And all of a sudden I'm back to $1 or maybe even less than $1. When I could have just gotten out and made my $4. But what was I so focused on? Hitting that home run of multiplying the money by 10. And I learned throughout my course as an investor is that, sometimes, just buying right here, and this is just hypothetically speaking, 31.2730, and selling way up here, or let's just say it dipped and it was right here, 32.08 to 31.27, that's a difference. That's a difference. And let's just say that it's not in the thousands. It's actually $32.09. And I bought in at 31.27. You may not notice that that's a difference, but that is a difference. That's a whole dollar, right? That's almost a whole dollar. That's like 80 cents per share from 31.27 to 32.09, 32.08. That's about 80 cents per share. And if you bought 100 shares, you know, that right there is incredible. Incredible. Because 10 of them is $8 and 100 of them is $80. And when you think about it, I'd rather take $80 than to have waited, right? Like somebody that bought here at 31.26, saw it go all the way to 32.35, and then wait, and then I'm back to the same spot. And then I only made about 2 cents per share. And after 100 shares, that's $2. And then sometimes it even goes below that. So it's not all about how much did I make in that trade. It's all about, did I make money in that trade? And I really wanted to share this with you guys. And anybody that wants to comment down below that has allowed just just a little grain and a small drop of greed get into their trading habits or their trading experiences, I'd love for you guys to, write down below and engage in conversation with me or other investors on an experience like that. Who has had an experience like that? Because that happens to most of us, and I want to continue to encourage people to realize that it's not about making the big score, it's all about making a score every day. Not a loss, but a profit. It's better to profit $1 a day, which means you'll only make $365 in a year. But actually, that's not how many trading days there are. But let's just say it's for every day of the year you made $1. And there's times where you've won and lost in trading. There's that one person that made $1 a day, and then there's the person that's made $10 a month, and that turns out to be 120 in total. And then there's 3 months that they made, um let's just say $100 out of all of them. So if 120 was $10 a month, and 3 of the months turned out to be $100, that's 300 in 3 months. And the other 9 months you made $10. That's 390, right? That's great. That's on your profit side. And that may look better than the person that made $1 a day. But if you go to the person that made $1 a day and you ask them how much did you lose per month, and they tell you I lost 20 cents per month. Because that I'm just talking about profits there. I lost 20 cents per month. Well, okay, well, when you look at that, okay, so that means that you made um a total of XYZ because you lost 240. $2.40. So right there, they've only lost $2.40. They made 365 in profit, lost 240. And then the other person made 390. You ask them how much they lost per month, and they tell you I actually lost $5 a month. Well, then they ended up at 330. The other person ended up at 365 in profit, but when they lost to 240, it turned out to be, let's just round it down to 333. And if you want to be exact, 332.60. And the other person ended up making 330 because they lost $60 in the year. When you do that math, this person looked like they made more because they hit 2 or 3 home runs and they did this and they did that. But on the balance sheet of it all, one person that made $1 a day actually ended up making more money than the person that didn't. And why am I saying this? Well, the reason why is because in the S&P 500, you're not going to hit home runs. And it's especially in this process. And that's what I want to go ahead and inform you guys that this is a very um, profitable opportunity, but it's not something that you're going to score big. It's not something like an IPO that just came out or an EV company that skyrocketed. It's not that. That's not what you're going to experience here. So I do want to go ahead and put that out there. But I put the analogy out there as well so that you guys don't just use it towards this, but just use it towards your trading experience. Just focus on profiting and minimizing your losses. That's what this channel is all about. Maximizing your profits, minimizing your losses, looking at charts, looking at the S&P, and just taking advantage of what the Fed is doing. The Fed is giving us money. Take advantage of it. So just keep that in mind. There was one guy that was making, a hundred in, you know, a month for 3 months, and then the other months, they made $5 or whatever it was, and turns out to be, X amount and $10, I mean, and they ended up making 390, and it just looked better. And there's the other guy that made $1 per day, and his losses were so small that it didn't even affect how much he gained. And then the other person, their losses were pretty big, and they ended up making $30, basically $30 less than the guy that was taking it easy, step by step, just focusing on earning more money. Now, that's hypothetically speaking. In real life, I wouldn't focus on making just $1. I'd encourage you guys to make at least 100 per trade, 50 to 100, depending on your capital. And if you do some good trades, you could probably make some more. So I highly, highly encourage you guys to not focus on the thousands, just focus on the small moves and making those moves positive. Thank you guys for watching again. Thank you guys for your time, for checking out this video, for stopping by on my channel. I hope you guys find it informative and helpful. That's all I'm here for. Take advantage of the information, check it out, do your research, sit on the sidelines, whatever you feel more comfortable doing for now. But definitely, definitely, once you feel motivated and ready, use this information as a tool to multiply your money, man and women. Men and women. All of you men and women that are watching, take advantage of this information. I can't stress it enough. And I really am privileged for you guys to use me as a resource and an opportunity to learn about charts and just information. And that's what I'm here for. I want us to help each other out. I want us to learn and grow, maximize profits, minimize losses, and just keep on going. So anybody that wants to comment down below any other information, piggyback off of this, or just your experiences after watching my previous videos, and if you've made any moves and how it's gone, um, even just if you've been on the sidelines, once again, if you have been and you've seen the, way these charts have moved, and you're just seeing based off of my videos, and it's actually, worked out in the ways and directions that I've been stating, and what has been your experience just being on the sidelines, and if you have seen how this has continued to grow, and if my previous videos have helped you to then see what's going on right now, you can comment down below. And just anybody that has so much information from these previous videos, bring that information here. Bring it here to the viewers, to the other investors, to the channel, because I'd really appreciate it. And anybody that wants to share their experiences of those small drops of greed, I would also like to have a conversation with you guys just to talk about that, because that happens to most of us. And I am just here to encourage you guys to make some more money and focus on making money. That's what I'm here for. And also just to inform you guys, and you guys continue to use me as a resource. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And let's make some money.